Hey everybody, can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. And okay, so y'all can hear me. All right. So how many of you are familiar with the kind of viral conversation that started on Twitter, where a young lady shared two screenshots? And one of those screenshots was a woman who said that there was a new junior developer or something like that who lowballed herself, and she's going to be so excited that she's getting offered over what she asked for, versus the recruiter who said that somebody lowballed herself, and that resulted in a lesser offer, 30 grand less than what was budgeted for. Now, I've been reading the comments, and so many people have been sending me this. Like, you guys have been emailing me this, tagging me in it, DMing me, and I really didn't want to chime in. But I can't ignore it. Like, I was trying to ignore it, but so many people have been reaching out to me wanting my opinion on this. So I said, I can't continue to ignore this. And if you're wondering why I have my glasses on, why I have my gloves on, because I'm in character right now. When it comes to talking money, when it comes to talking negotiating, I'm bringing myself to that conversation. So this is, and I'll show you guys, I think I have a picture. I'll show you guys these screenshots, and then I'm going to give you my opinion on it. So she said, I had a software engineer ask for a very low salary. She will be shocked when this offer comes through. We are paying your worth over here. Okay. And then this was being compared to, I just offered a candidate $85,000 for a job that had a budget of $130K. I offered her that because that's what she asked for, and I personally don't have the bandwidth to give lessons on salary negotiation. Here's the lesson. Always ask for the salary you want or deserve, no matter how large you think it might be. You never know how much money a company has to work with. Now, I'm going to say this, and let me put this on the screen because I want you to know who I'm talking about when I'm talking. This woman is not wrong. What happens is a lot of times what we do is we get caught up in the emotional factor of business. There is no emotional factor of business. Sometimes people inappropriately inject their emotions into business, and subsequently, when you inject your emotions into business, what happens is you make emotional decisions. So the person who asked for 85 grand for a position that had $130,000 to offer did not do their research. It is your responsibility to research the salary range, research the salaries that people have been previously offered for similar positions. And if you cannot find that information, it is your responsibility to ask upfront in order to determine if that salary range is reasonable for you, if you should continue on with the relationship. And the reason why I say that is because that is your responsibility. It is not my responsibility in a business transaction, in a business deal, for me to help you negotiate in your favor. As a recruiter is commissioned to protect the assets of the company. A recruiter gets their bonuses and gets their raises based off of how they can acquire more for less. Okay. And so that is why she's not wrong on the business end. And I'm going to talk on both perspectives, but I'm speaking on the perspective of business. As an employee at my company, she's not wrong. She's not wrong for her perspective. She's doing her job, the job that she's paid to do. Now, on the other side of the token, so I've discussed the responsibility that you as the job seeker has, the responsibility that the recruiter has. Now let's also discuss the equal employment opportunity. So the equal employment opportunity is an act that was passed. It's a federal act. Okay, so this is federal. This is not your state. This is not your city. This is not your company. This is federal wide. And there is an equal employment opportunity commission that takes complaints. So let's say as a recruiter, I decide to tell one person how to negotiate a higher salary for themselves. And that person then gets a position. So let's say I am the recruiter in this situation and I've offered unsolicited advice to this candidate. I've told this candidate, hey, you know, we have a budget of 130K because she's a sister and I'm a sister. And so she's lowballing herself 85K. So I'm going to say, you know, this position has 130K. You need to ask for more. Okay. And then sis says, okay, I'm going to ask for 140. And then I take that offer back to management and management meets her at 125. And then she starts this job and she tells one person that I coached her on how to get more of a salary and she's making more than someone that I didn't coach. Now I'm going to get an EEOC complaint filed on me. Because the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says that equal opportunity. So if I don't coach every single person that I interact with on how to maximize their offer, I'm facing federal liability. Now, do you think that I should sacrifice the career that I worked hard for because you didn't do your homework on a field that you've invested education and experience in? You went and bought a resume, you went and got a degree, you went and got a certification, and I'm supposed to risk my career to help you get a salary that you should have asked about or researched before you sat at my table. And that is the problem, and that is the very reason why some of you aren't successful, because you think somebody is supposed to sacrifice themselves because you didn't do your work. That is a 30, 40, 50, however many $1,000 lesson. And the most expensive lessons are the most valuable lessons. Those are the lessons that we learn from. So you don't have to accept the $85,000 offer. You don't have to, once this comes out and goes viral, you don't have to stay there. Now you know you fumbled the bag. She can get fired because of the post. That's perfectly fine. She got fired if she got fired. If she got fired, it's because she posted it on the internet. That is something that you're not supposed to do, which was going to be my next topic. But since you guys are bringing that up, I'm not here discussing whether or not she should have posted it on the internet. I'm here to discuss the recruiter's perspective. So if you want to get on here and you want to pick apart my argument, and if you want to say, well, she got fired, well, she did this, well, she did that, you know what? You're missing the point. And you're one of those people who thinks that somebody is supposed to tell you, well, she got fired, so she was wrong. She got fired for posting on social media. So you're one of those people who misses the lesson. You're one of those people who sits across the table, gets offered $45,000 less because when somebody's giving you meaningful advice, you can't listen. You can't accept that. You can't take accountability. You always have to find a way to make somebody else wrong. And that's not going to change the way this works. So, again, taking emotion out of it and discussing the facts, she's not wrong for her position or her perspective. Now, another thing, since we're on the topic of her getting fired, let's discuss when someone gets fired. Let's discuss that, because you guys seem to have this understanding or this thought that, because someone got fired, that they did something wrong. Most of the states in the United States are at will. I can fire you because your shirt is red. I can fire you because I don't like your attitude. I can fire you for any reason that I want to fire you. Me firing you is not a cause of guilt. Me firing you can be a personal choice, a personal nuisance. Now, subsequently, just because I want to fire you because your shirt is red or fire you because I don't like what you posted on social media, that doesn't mean that the buck stops there. And I've talked about this in previous videos where I've discussed that, this is one of the reasons why smart employers are reluctant to disclose when someone gets fired. Firing you and saying whatever reason that I fired you for, it's not my decision. So if she got fired, it's my decision to separate this person from the company, but it's not my decision to rule on if she was wrong or not. That's arbitration. That's what the legal system is for. So if Mercedes Johnson was fired for this post, she can take this to court. And that is wrongful it could be wrongful termination. It will be up to a judge and a jury to decide if she was wrong for posting this on social media. And that is why people win wrongful termination suits. And if she was fired under wrongful termination, then she would negotiate a settlement. The second issue that we should discuss is if I decide to fire you because your shirt is red or I didn't like what you posted on social media, you may not take it to court. You may file unemployment, and someone representing the government, who's the mediator between the workers and the employees, would then determine if this is justifiable, is this legal, and if we should pay you unemployment. So, with that being said, a company firing someone, that doesn't always mean they're wrong. People get fired all the time for stuff that they shouldn't get fired for. But at the end of the day, I'm sharing with you facts where she messed up, in my professional opinion, and she shouldn't have posted this on the internet. I get what she was trying to do, but she posted it under herself. She probably has the company that she works for on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm getting questions in the comments where it says, when do you recommend is the best time for us to bring up salary? So this question is not a question that I can just answer for one individual person. I think that you have to consider the circumstances of your specific situation. So anytime you go into a business deal or a business transaction with desperation, the likelihood of you getting the short end of the stick is high. So if you're a person who's been unemployed for 6 months, if you're a person who cannot afford to turn down an offer, then the way you negotiate your salary and have salary discussions is going to be different from a person who's comfortable, a person who has a life savings, a person who quit their job with a nest egg, a person who's currently employed and shopping themselves around for the best offer. So if we're speaking in terms of someone who's desperate, meaning you're going to take whatever they got to give you, because if you don't, your couch is going to be in the front lawn and you're going to be sleeping in your car. Then you can clarify at the beginning, hello, I'm so excited to learn more about this opportunity. Are you in a position to share with me the salary range for this role? And a recruiter who doesn't want to disclose salary, or there may not be a salary. Some positions, there isn't a budget. Some positions, they're going to see what you want to get paid and see if they can afford to give you a little bit more. It really just depends. And they should answer that question according to what that company is ready and prepared to do. So if there is a set out budget, they're going to say, hey, this position is offering 100K is the max I can do. They may say, hey, the budget is 100K, depending on experience. They may say, we want to stay within this range, but we're going to do a salary analysis. All of those responses communicate a different budget situation for the company. Now, if you are a person who is in a position to turn down offers, you're educated, you have recruiters DMing you, you're at a job, or you're consulting right now, you don't have to hop on the first thing that offers you something. Then immediately in that call. And this is the thing about a confident candidate. And this is why I say you cannot let your emotions cost you money. When you come into a business decision with your emotions leading the decision, I'm nervous, I'm desperate, I'm insecure, I have low self-esteem. You see, what you're communicating more to a company than you think. So when you come into these situations and you're in your low self-esteem bag, where you're lowballing yourself at 85K, or you're in your unprepared bag, you didn't do your research. So you come into this conversation and you're valuing yourself at $85,000 for a role that has a budget of $130,000. You're coming into that conversation with that bag because you don't have confidence, you're unprepared, you don't know what you're worth. You're going to leave that situation with a short end of the stick. Now, when you come to a conversation and you say, let me tell you something, I have 3 degrees. I have my bachelor's degree. I have my master's degree in human resource management. I have my second master's degree in strategic communication. I have built a brand. I have served as a CEO. I have been writing for over 10 years. My writing has translated into 7, 10, 11, 15, 25, $30 million in salary increases over the course of 2 years. When you come into that situation and you can speak facts and you can speak numbers and you know what you're worth because you've done your research, you've had conversations, you've joined networking groups, you've joined associations. Well, what are you making? Well, what are you making? Well, what is your designation? Well, who do you know? You've sat at tables and you've invested in yourself, and you can come to that conversation and say, thank you so much for getting back with me. I'm excited to learn more about this position. So I'm curious to know, what is the salary range for this role? Because my target goal at this time is $155,000. Would you be able to accommodate this? Does this fit your budget? Is this within the scope of what you've budgeted to pay for this role? And they will either say yes or no. And if it's a no and they still want to get with you, they'll tell you about growth opportunities. They're going to start talking to, hey, well, the budget is only $130K, but we are offering 30 days off PTO, free parking. We're located in the middle of all the action in downtown. We're going to offer you free parking, insurance and health insurance, and all of your benefits are 100% paid by the company. They're going to, if they don't have the budget and they want you, they're going to start, hey, and within 6 months, we'll pay for this. We'll show you how to do this. We'll train you in this. We'll reimburse your tuition. If they can't get it in salary, they'll start making it up in benefits if they really want you. If they don't want you, if you come in there talking 155K talk, you come in there talking chickens. Cuckoo! You come in there talking chickens and they don't have the budget because they want to pay $130,000. Then guess what? You're not their target candidate. You're going to come in there. You're going to have resentment and bitterness because you're going to feel like they got it. They should have paid me $155K. They got it. Well, guess what? Just because I have it doesn't mean I want to spend it. And so when a company is trying to consider who their candidate is, who their ideal candidate, it comes with a job description. It comes with skills and abilities. It comes with education, and it comes with a specific salary. I'm looking to hire somebody that has all of this with this. That'll pay, that I could pay this. And you might not be their target demographic. So why go into a situation where you're going to sell yourself short? Why? Are you scared? Do you think that something else isn't going to come? Because as previously stated, when you communicate lack of confidence in a business transaction, you're telling me more about yourself than you think. See, you're letting me know that you don't have confidence. So I'm supposed to pay you 6 figures and you can't even come to the business deal with confidence. How you going to represent my company? How you going to tell a customer that we could do this, and this for them, and you don't even have the confidence to ask what you're worth? So there are multiple scenarios impacting this salary negotiation conversation. And we can't take posts like this at face value because you don't know what type of company she works for. You don't know their environment. There's so much that you don't know. But what you need to know is the way that you present yourself. Sometimes your confidence gonna get you extra money. Sometimes the way you walk, the way you dress, the way you walk up in that room and you know what you can do and you know what you're worth and you prepared and ain't nobody going to be able to run no bullshit on you salary-wise is the reason why they're going to pay you more. You got to know what you want. If you broke and you can't afford to be picky, that's fine. Build your profile up, build your career up, build your experience up to the point where you can walk in a room and charge what you're worth and know what you're worth. But if you ain't there yet, stop being bitter, stop being mad because you haven't put in the work and you haven't built the profile and you haven't done the homework. and stop thinking that it's my responsibility to look out for you. Because if you ain't ready to tell me that you worth 130K, then you ain't ready to make 130K. You ain't ready to make what you don't even know you worth. You don't even have the confidence. So you might come in here and you might do the same job and you might have the same title, but because you ain't got the confidence, you're not bringing me the same results. Because as a company, there is a return on investment factor. Define who you are. Define what you can do. Fine tune yourself. Invest in whatever it is you need to invest in to make yourself feel confident enough to ask for what you're worth, to know what you are worth. Any questions? And while I wait for questions, I'm just going to say, she's not wrong either. She's not wrong either. She's not wrong for offering somebody over what they asked for. She's not wrong for that either. Because if her company is looking to attract and impress junior software engineers, a junior software engineer does not have the same experience. They disproportionately represent a younger population. And the marketing strategy for attracting talent and candidates for a junior position is completely different for senior and mid-level roles. So it is expected that the marketing strategy is going to be different. So if you're hiring junior, what do we know about junior associates? What do we know about junior associates is that they're typically younger. If they're not younger, they're younger in their careers. They don't quite know what the pay is. They're looking to work for companies that they feel reflect equitability, that they feel like are going to look out for them. They want to look out for a company that's looking out for them. They saw preceding generations get burnt by employers. They're young and hungry, and they want to be excited. They would respond to a situation where their offer is countered with more money, because that represents what we know about that demographic. So her strategy isn't wrong either. Both recruiters are representing different companies. And see, this is why it's so important, and I preach this all the time. This is why it is so important for you to do your research on the company, to know where you are in your career and what demographic you align with, to know what you want out of your career, and to understand the meaning behind the numbers. To understand the meaning behind the numbers. So neither one of these were wrong. If she worked at a certain type of company that reflected a certain type of culture, she could have gotten fired for this post. Why are you telling that? So when you get a offer or you get feedback from a company, when you get an offer or you get feedback from a recruiter, you have to understand that it is subjective. The recruiting style, the marketing plan, all of that goes into, or all of that, is part of an equation that reflects what type of companies they worked for, what type of position they're looking to fill, what the marketing strategy is, and their experience as a recruiter. So you can ask advice from 10 different recruiters, and 10 different recruiters are going to give you 10 different responses that are customized based off of what they've been trained, what they learned, what side of the country they're on, what type of positions that they've recruited for. So when you think in terms of interviewing, when you think in terms of resume writing, when you think in terms of deciding what companies you're going to apply to, you have to do research on the culture of that company, and you have to do research on where you fit in to the employment market. So someone said, how do you negotiate for a salary when still working on your master's but want master's pay with the federal government? You don't, because nobody is going to sell me a half-done cheeseburger. You're not going to tell me, hey, I have this $10, this cheeseburger. It could go for $10 if I had cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes, but I only have the bread and the meat. So when you finish your master's degree, you could go and ask for master's degree pay. You can't ask for what you haven't earned. But you can shop yourself out to a different company or a different organization or a different market that's looking for someone who has a half-done master's degree, that's looking to pay premium for that. Who needs that? Where's your skill set? What startup company has to contract with the government and needs your expertise? And maybe they're not giving you that extra for the master's. Maybe they're giving you that extra for your niche, for your expertise, for the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you have that will help them grow their business. That's what you need to be finding out. You can't reinvent the wheel. You're not that slick. You're not going to make me change my budget for something that you don't have, unless you have something that I need. So what do you have that they need? Stop trying to sell something that's not done. Finish your master's degree, then you can sell that. In the meantime, what do you have that these people need, that they're willing to pay top dollar for, that they're willing to pay master's level pay for? Because we don't just pay for education. If you have a bunch of education that I don't need, I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for that. I don't want it. I don't need it. That will be a dumb investment on my behalf. I'm paying for what I need. So when you don't have one thing, you can't get paid off of that. But what do you have? Sell me that. Solve problems for me. Let me know what you can do for me that will make me some extra money or save me a lot of money, and then we can talk. The cruise control package includes an e-consultation where you will fill out a document, and it is a guided document with instructions that will help you narrow down the field or industry that you want this resume written for. It includes a basic cover letter, a resume, and 2 applications completed on your behalf. What are the top skills needed in today's market without doing a graduate program? That is not a question I can answer, because the market is not, there is a United States job market when we speak in terms of unemployment rates and things like that. But job markets are very regional. So when you want to determine what is in demand, you need to determine where you want to live and how much you want to make. That's how you look at employment markets regional. You can look at micro or macro. You can say, hey, the Texas area invested in oil. Well, okay, Texas invested in oil, but what about Austin? What did they invest in? Well, Austin is becoming the new tech hub. Well, what about Dallas? What did they invest in? Healthcare and manufacturing. Well, what about Houston? Some of the largest learning hospital institutions. Houston is a city. It's a metropolitan, so they have a little bit of everything, but fintech, healthcare tech. Okay, well, you asked me the same thing about New York. What has New York invested in? Well, renewable energy. They're invested in fintech. They're invested in healthcare tech. So, companies like, and I'm not saying this company's in New York, but just to give you an example, Teladoc, doctors' visits and things like that can be done online instead of coming in, because they're investing in everything that they could do to save that city by keeping it remote. And you asked me that 6 months from now, it could change. A year from now, it could change. New York is fighting to be the crypto hub. Miami is fighting to be the crypto hub. So Miami and New York must have a lot of companies that are investing in crypto. New York just passed where you can bet and do wagers on your phone. So you need to start looking at what business is going down. What is making headlines in this city? If it made a headline, it created a job. If it made a headline, it took a job. You have to look and turn. Okay, this headline took jobs. Well, where did those jobs go? And what industry were those jobs in? And why did those jobs decide to go there? Maybe I should too. Why are all these tech and startups coming to Austin? Because they're leaving because they're leaving California, they're leaving LA, they're leaving the Bay Area, they're leaving San Francisco. Why are they doing that? Because taxes are high, because it's too hard to get seed money, because there's no more room to build, because we need a little bit of space, because the pandemic shut us down. And when the pandemic shut us down, a lot of people went to Texas because they were working from home, and they found that in Texas they could get a good quality of life and cheaper housing, and this made them better workers. This made them happier. Maybe you should leave the Bay Area and go to Austin. That's how you make decisions. It's not about what is the top in the market. I want to be able to be marketable no matter what. If you want to be able to be marketable no matter what, no matter what's going on in the economy, no matter what's going on in the market, then understand that you're going to make less than people who follow temporary trends. So everybody's talking about, oh my God, nurses are getting $300 an hour. Yes, they are, because they're getting hazard pay, because there is a very low demand, because they're asking you to be vaccinated and to do this and to do that. So there's a reason why they're getting paid. And then when the pandemic is over, and this could be 3 years, this could be 5 years, this could be 10 years, this could be 6 months, we don't know. But guess what? In the future, the demand for nurses is going to be very low. So you're going to have a nursing degree. So I'm paying you premium right now because we need you right now. But I hope that you're saving your money, because you're going to go through a period of unemployment if you don't diversify, and if you don't work on nursing and do you little something on the side that follows another trend, because this is what's going on right now. And that's the thing about the job market. It changes. So if you want to be one of those people that's marketable no matter what, then you're always going to make baseline to midline pay, because you generalize. You have a sociology degree, you have a psychology degree. Anybody could use you, but we really don't need you. You're replaceable. But you still serve a good point, because when I don't need you, hell, somebody else will, and they might pay you a little bit more money too. So when you don't specialize and you generalize, you're not going to see, you're going to peak very, very quickly. And your peak isn't going to be as high as everybody else, but you always going to have a job. So who are you? Are you somebody who just like stability? If you just like stability, then generalize. If you like change, you got ADHD, you want to ride this wave until the wave splashes at the shore, and then you want to go do something else, then specialize. You have a specialty in this. Okay. So you was good at this. So you were good at building websites. So now you need to learn how to build apps. That's how that works. And then when you built apps. Well, you better learn how to build them in the metaverse now. Oh, you're good at manufacturing. Well, first we were manufacturing cars. Well, now what can you manufacture? Can you build something of use? So you have to determine who you are and what you want, and it's so much more complex than a salary and a title and a generalization for an entire country. It's bigger than that. This is about who you are. What's your personality like? Where are you going to be more successful? Where are you going to be happy? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to get married? Do you want to live out of a backpack? Do you want to go 6 months super busy, working 75 hours a week, and then followed by 6 months not working at all, traveling and kicking it? What do you want? What are you good at? Where can you get the most results? Can you go from generalist to specialist? Absolutely. But you're going to have to go back to school. Now, whether that's a certification, whether that's an apprentice program, whether that's learning, whether that's training, whether that's just an actual degree, whether you have to start your bachelor's over, whether you have to go get a master's, whether you have to take it all the way to PhD, depends on what you want to do. Can you go from specialist to generalist? Okay, let's say you lived your life. You're 30 now, you're about to have kids. Maybe you're 35, maybe you're 40, maybe you're 50. Whenever you want to do that, that's up to you. But hey, I don't want to work like this anymore. I don't want to work 70 hours a week. I don't want to do all of that. I just want to make 65K. I just stacked my money, had my fun, bought my house. I had all the purses, went on all the vacations, went to all the concerts, went on all the tours. Now I just want to be a mom. Can you go from specialist to generalist? Absolutely, but not with the same resume. So, these aren't general questions. These are very, very specific things that you need to think about. On the e-consult, we're going to ask you thought-provoking, probing questions. You're going to, questions such as, what is your salary? What type of jobs do you like? What are you looking for out of a company, et cetera, et cetera. And then we're going to guide you to use that information to help you narrow down what you want to do. So this is something that you're going to be doing. You're going to be making this decision, but we're going to ask you the questions that need to be asked to help you make that decision. And if you can't make that decision based on what is in this consult, then you may need a career coaching session, and you will have to, pay the fee to upgrade to that. So it just depends. So listen, what other questions do you guys have? Yes. Someone said, do you guys make resumes for tech as well? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Sorry. What other questions do you guys have? Waiting. While I'm waiting for your questions, I'm going to read some of your comments. Okay, someone said, can you elaborate more on how to research companies' culture? Looking at their social medias only goes so far. So the same way that you research a company, you read their reviews, you follow them for a while. So if I wanted to, let's say, I decided that I want to work in the cannabis industry. So I want to work for Can. I really like this company. I like their products. I want to work for them. So I'm going to follow them on Instagram. Instagram is going to give me their aesthetic. Instagram is going to show me their marketing. And by showing me their marketing, they're creating content based off of who their target demographic is, or they are in the process of doing consumer market research. So they're just throwing content out there to see who their customer is. So they're executing some type of marketing strategy on their Instagram. Okay. So I'm going to follow that page and I'm going to see if they're doing a good job. So is their engagement or any of their posts performing highly? Does it look like bots and fake followers? Do they have a cult-like following? Because that's going to tell me who their customer is. So if their feedback is mixed in the comments, some people love it, some people hate it, then they're trying to find out who they are. If a lot of people are agreeing with what they're saying and there's very few negative comments, very few, negativity in their comments or alternating views in their comments, then that shows me that they really know who they are. This is their brand identity. And brand identity and knowing who the customer is going to determine if this is a good culture for you. Because if I have a culture, my customers, let's say I'm a country club, and you're following this country club in your neighborhood because you think that you really want to work there because you heard that you can meet a sugar daddy and they tip really well. So you go to... you may go to the country club's page. You may go visit the country club. You may follow their newsletter. Whatever you're doing, you're determining who their customers are. And if you see that, oh my gosh, they are very conservative. They never celebrate black or brown people. None of their board of directors are black or brown. Nobody in any position of power is black or brown. All the black and brown people who work here work in the kitchen, or they work as a busboy, or they work a servant type of job. That's going to tell you something about the culture of that customer. The culture of the customer dictates how the culture of the company will be, because this company is selling to this customer. This company is solving a problem for this customer. So that is going to help you determine the culture. If you do your research and you say, okay, I'm following them on Instagram to see what who the customer is, what the customer is, what the culture of that customer is. Then I'm going to go to their LinkedIn because I want to see what type of articles they write. I want to see what type of articles they repost. I want to see if they're writing articles. If you're writing articles, your company is constantly doing research. If you're not writing articles, you are stuck in a period of time. You feel as though you have perfected whatever it is you've done, or this is your clientele and it's not changing. You're not one of those open-minded, progressive companies, etc., etc. LinkedIn is where companies express their thoughts and views. Do those thoughts and views align with you? Are they celebrating Martin Luther King Day? Is that a paid holiday? What are they posting for Black History Month? Are there any black creators? When you go to their website, do you see black people? Do you see brown people? Do you see people that look like you? Do you see people that belong to the LGBTQ community? What is their philanthropy? Are they donating money to Harvard and Yale? Are they donating money to Bethune-Cookman and Morehouse? Are they donating money to Bill Gates Foundation? Are they donating money to build schools in Africa? Where are they putting their money? So if they're just putting their money to Harvard and Yale, if they're just putting their money to organizations that you don't support, organizations that have made off-tone, insensitive remarks, organizations that have done racist things in the media, if their money is still tied to that person. So if you see someone You see this company and they're investing in a brand who recently got blasted for, racially profiling their customers, and they still are endorsing them. Then those are their views. That is the culture of their company. So then you go to their Facebook page. Facebook is like the directory. Facebook is like the phone book. So you follow their Facebook page. Are there a bunch of Karens constantly complaining and whining on their Facebook page? They're constantly a bunch of disgruntled people, and they're in the comments kissing their butt. You go to Yelp and you look for the same thing. That's how you determine the culture of a company. You shouldn't be finding out about the company that you want to apply to on the day you decide to apply. That is an unprepared candidate. And unprepared candidates typically, they could get jobs, but not as successfully as people who identify their prey and go after it. People who are confident, people who do their market research, people who make their decisions, people who are not just applying for any job that they see, people who are looking for something, and when they see it, they're going to pounce on it. And if you're following their Facebook, and if you're following their LinkedIn, and if you're following their Instagram, and if you're following their Twitter, and if you're subscribed to their newsletter, and you're subscribed to their job notifications, and you're connecting with the recruiters on LinkedIn, and then 6 months later, the position that you want pops up, you'll probably be one of the first people to apply for it. And that's how we know as recruiters who is who and what is what. And if you're following them like this, and you're participating, you're going to their events. Oh, they're having an event. I'm there. I'm shaking hands. Oh, they've got a product. I'm buying it. I'm posting it and reposting it on Instagram. Oh, this is their aesthetic. I'm going to post stuff like this. Oh, this is their thoughts. I'm going to respond to their articles and reshare them and share my elaboration. Somebody from that company should have noticed you if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you researching the culture, somebody from that company should have noticed you, and they should have either followed you, reposted something that you share. They should have connected you in some kind of way. You should have found out who they were in some kind of way, and you should be either following somebody on Twitter, linking with somebody on LinkedIn. You should have some type of referral, and if you don't have a formal referral, you should have built a relationship with somebody that you can say, hey, I noticed you guys are hiring for such and such. Who's the recruiter on this? Or I really want to apply. Any tips? This is where we're going. Social media. This is where we're going as a society. And you can resist it all you want to, but this is where you're going. Yes, we make resumes for supply chain professionals. Someone says, when going into a new field after receiving new training, do you come confidently and shoot high, or no, because you just got into the new specialty? Well, my thing is, what do you think? Do you have the confidence? If I were to ask you, if it's a position paying 50 to 100K, 100K is obviously for the person who has experience in education and can give me some results. So if we're having a conversation, and the question again is, when going into a new field after receiving new training, do you come confidently and shoot high, or no, because you just got paid into the new specialty? So here's my response to this. Be realistic. If the salary range is from 50 to 100K, 100K is going to be for somebody very special. Education and experience. Ability to communicate results. So, and this is what you guys don't understand. I'm not saying, when I say ability to communicate results, you communicate results verbally. You communicate skills and abilities written. That's your resume. Verbally is where you shout out your numbers. Verbally is where you pat yourself on the back and you brag on yourself. On the resume is skills and abilities. So if I have a $50,000 to $100,000 budget and you're new in the field, and you just got training, you don't even have, experience, you just have training, are you prepared to answer my question if I ask you, why do you deserve 100K? Are you able to tell me, with this skill, a problem that you've solved and quantify it verbally? Can you say that? If not, then no, you shouldn't be asking for 100K. You just playing the lottery. Really what you're doing is you're playing games. You wasting my time. That's what you're doing when you do stuff like that. You're wasting my time. That's how I feel. I feel like, okay, she's wasting my time. Why is she asking me for 100K when she's got a degree? Great. But she's never worked a job before, or she's worked a job in a completely different field, and she doesn't, even though her skills are transferable, she doesn't even have the awareness that her skills are transferable, which means that she's not going to be confident, which means that she's always going to be asking questions, needing her hand held throughout this process. I can hire her, but I'm not going to be able to give her responsibility to act independently because she doesn't know what she's doing and she doesn't have the confidence. And I'm going to have to train her to know that for the past 5 years, what she's been doing directly relates, even though she doesn't see it, which is going to cost me money. So why would I pay you $100K when I could go get somebody who knows what they're doing, who could come in, hit the ground running? They'll be answering questions instead of asking them. They'll be seeing problems and fixing them and trusting themselves and willing. Can you bet on yourself? Can you go into a company and trust your abilities to the point where you make the decision? You make the decision. You pull the trigger because you know this will work. You know this will solve the problem. And you pull the trigger. You don't even ask. Unless it specifically says in writing that you have to ask. You just go ahead and do it. Or even if it does say that, you say, I've worked here long enough to know that if I send this to management, they just going to give them an exception anyway. So I'm going to just give you that exception. And if I'm wrong, I'll take the coaching. And if I'm right, I'll take the kudos. Do you have the confidence to do that? If not, then I'm not paying you $100K. And that's how companies come up with these figures. You may have the education, you may have the experience, and you don't have the confidence. I still have to train you, and training you costs me money. Training you not only costs me money, there's somebody who knows what they're doing that I could pay $100K who can make me $1 million. I got to pay you $50,000 or $60,000, and I got to spend an extra $25,000 training you. So now I'm at $85K spending on you. And then this person is making me $1 million, and you only making me $450,000. So you costing me a lot of money to train you, but I'm going to invest in you anyways, because when I get you to $100,000 level, you're going to be making me $1 million. And that is an incentive for me to invest almost $500,000 in you over the course of 3 years to get you to $100,000 level, because you'll pay me back really quickly. And then if you leave, it'll be fine, because you made me my money back and some, and I know that you'll go get another 25K because of what I taught you. See, this is business. Your career is an investment. You're investing in yourself. Some of that investment in yourself is academic. So when you go to school and you get this academic knowledge, then you have to spend time investing in learning how to use it. You learn how to use knowledge on the job. You learn how to use knowledge doing research. If you want to be a PR specialist or you want to work for a media company, start a blog. You don't have to be the next Shade Room. You could be a blog with 5 or 10,000 followers. Okay, that's entry level. You can say that I curated content for an audience of $10,000 on my personal Instagram, and I'm prepared to show you that. And I was able to gross $2,500 a month and add money from micro businesses as a micro influencer. Sometimes nobody will give you the experience. But see, okay, so some people go get experience. And this is all a candidate pool. You have candidate pools where you have some people who go get experience. They'll go do anything just to get their foot in the door, to get any bit of relevancy. Then you have some people who don't have any experience at all. They're fresh. Then you have some people who couldn't get experience, so they went and they built something on their own. They did something on their own, and it was hard and it was gruesome, but they learned and they finally made it make money. And then you have some people who are just going to wait. They're just going to wait and wait and wait and wait for an opportunity. Who would you want to hire? Because that tells me a lot about you. You're a go-getter, huh? You're a go-getter, huh? You couldn't get an opportunity, so you created one. Or you went to your 9 to 5 and then your 5 to 7 was something relevant and you're selling me that. I respect you. Some companies might not respect it. If a company is looking for someone who got that experience, did anything, worked their way up from the mailroom up to the executive level, that's their target candidate. So they may not be impressed with what you did. They may say, oh, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, great. I'm so impressed. And then go with somebody else who fits the culture of the company. This is what we're looking for. So to answer your question, no. You should research what someone with your level of experience and education is worth in your market. And you should try to get maybe 5,000 more, 2,500, 500, hell, 1,000 more than you worth is better than nothing. Okay. So those are all the questions I'm answering today. If you guys have other questions, do you want me to post this live? Do you guys want me to keep this live up? Let me know in the comments, yes or no, if you want me to keep this live up. If you ask me a question that I did not get to answer, then leave that question in the comments under the lives. And as I'm highlighting Black businesses this month, as I'm highlighting Black companies that are hiring, as I'm highlighting positions, the titles that you probably never considered, I'm going to be answering some of those questions. It may be a video, it may be a tweet, it may be a story, it may be a poll. So if you have questions, please ask them. Also, I want to highlight our cruise control package. So take advantage of our cruise control package. It includes an e-consultation, resume, cover letter, and 2 applications completed on your behalf. It is for clients who have 5 years or more of work experience. And it is also for clients who, if you don't have 5 years of work experience, but you have a master's degree or you're in school to get your master's degree. If you're a fresh college grad or you have no more than a bachelor's degree and 4 years or less of experience, we have our new career package, which is a resume. E-consultation, resume, cover letter, and 2 applications completed on your behalf. We are getting the white glove restocked. I was sick. I was sick and I'm still kind of getting over it. So, that's why I'm not taking as many white glove orders, because I want my existing customers to get what they pay for and get the experience that they deserve. So I will be restocking that very soon. And actually, I'm going to be doing a spinoff with the white glove, because some of you are ready to do your own thing. Some of you are ready to be consultants. There is no place for you in the job market. You're at consultant level. So I have something else coming up. So right now we're doing, and we also have the blast off package. So if you don't want us to do any applications for you, the blast off package. We have the apply for you, where we will apply for 5 jobs on your behalf. We have so many ebooks, the resume writing handbook, the interview prep course. We have the interview prep crash course. We have the list. So our list for teachers who need help determining what they're qualified to do. Download the list. Social service employees, social workers, case workers, anybody in that space. We have our ebook, Leaving the Social Services Industry. For our customer service people who are stuck in customer service, we have our Leaving the Customer Service Industry Behind course, So we have so many great things on our website. When you scroll on our website, make sure you're selecting load more at the bottom so that you can see all of the things that we offer. I put a lot of time and effort into my services and curating and customizing experiences based off of my customers' needs. You tell me what your needs are, and I go the extra mile to try to find that, also while, training a team, delivering you the best experience, and trying to perfect my craft and trying to build this company up. So, I just want you guys to understand that these are customized services based off of what you ask. So when you leave comments, even if I don't get to answer your comment, when you leave feedback, that feedback goes into product development, that feedback goes into curating content, that feedback goes into training my team, developing products and services to be solutions to you. I hear you, I hear your cries, and we don't always get it right. Sometimes, we're learning. We make mistakes, just like you make mistakes at your job. We make mistakes. And when we make a mistake, we have some really great people on our team who feel like when we make a mistake, we got to go back and get it right. We have to go back and get it right. We have to come and make it right and make it better. So we listen to feedback. We use the feedback. So be kind to us and understand that, we're growing and all of that. And also, stop being quiet. Share what you need. Get in those comments. Start conversations. There are people that are talking in the comments that are getting jobs, networking. Get comfortable networking on this page. This is the community that you've built. Be a part of that community. So we have a lot of things coming too to help you get better at being a part of this community. There are so many people. There are job seekers. There are recruiters. There are managers. There are educators. There are so many people in this group that can help connect dots for you. So we want to bring this community to life. So we're working on so many things, and I'm working to get over, this bug that I have, and also working to finish up with my batch of white glove clients that I have left. So keep on requesting the white glove experience. You'll get an email notification once it restocks. And you probably want to sign up for our mailing list. So creating an account on our site, www.moreforlessresumes.com. and agreeing for us to send you emails, because we're coming with the newsletters, we're coming with the news, we're covering companies, we're going to be interviewing people, we're going to be creating a space for you to be successful with your resume, and that's going to take your participation and your feedback and you being active and you letting us know who you are. If you're not here looking for a job, you should be DMing me. You should be introducing yourself to me or my team. If you're a recruiter, if you're somebody that is, you're a firm, you're an employment firm, any of that, you should be connecting with us, because we have a pipeline of pre-screened talent. If you're a job seeker, you should be introducing yourself, even if we don't see the message. Because sometimes we go through emails because we're looking for something. Sometimes we go through messages because we're looking for something. We might miss you, but you should be making yourself visible. You should be making yourself known. You should be saving posts, sharing posts, commenting. The time, you should feel like a part of this community if you're here to get something. Don't just come on here and watch. Come on here and be active, be vocal, get comfortable networking in a social environment. This is a social environment, a social community. It's almost like going to a job fair and not talking to anybody, not letting yourself be known. I will be on this page every day like, hi, my name is Bink, and master's in human resource management, also a CEO, just in case anybody forgot, Well, in my professional opinion, as someone with a human resources degree in in my professional opinion, as someone with a master's degree in human resource management, I view it from this perspective. That's the type of energy you should be coming on these posts with in the comments. And you should be having respectful debates. This is a professional page. So you could be introducing yourself. You can be showing how you respond, how your training has got you to this decision. You should be discussing that type of stuff in the comments. And people who are looking to hire, everybody on here is not looking for a job. There's recruiters on this page too. They should be like, man, I'm looking for somebody like that. There are people getting hired in these comments. So be active, participate. And I'm going to tell you this, when recruiters hit me up, the best positions that I get hit up for, I offer them to my paid customers first. So purchasing a product or a service is a way to networking itself. So you may have a company that you want to work for. If you wanted to work for Can, you should spend money with Can. You should get their attention. That's all I'm going to say on that, because I feel like that's a whole new topic. But anyway, so I'm going to save this post. If you have questions, put them in the comments of the post. Like the post, share the post, send it to a friend, tag a friend. If you disagree with my analysis of the situation, hey, that's fine. Why? Explain why. And remember that I'm going to always defend my thoughts. So don't take that as aggression. Don't take that as unprofessional or rude. It's, as a confident professional, I'm going to defend why I did what I did, because I'm confident in my choices. But I'm not so closed off that I can't hear your opinion. So knowing who I am as a professional, if you're going to disagree with me, make sure that you present facts, not emotion, not opinion. Present facts that can be persuasive. And don't take offense to it when I battle you, because I'm going to battle you down. I'm going to play the devil's advocate. I'm going to consider the perspective that is unpopular, the unpopular opinion, the other side. I'm going to challenge you to thought. I'm going to defend the side that needs to be defended, because there's always two sides to a story. And if we only look at the popular side of the story, then we miss the lesson. And a lot of the times the lesson is a very expensive lesson. And I don't want you making expensive mistakes. All right. Bye-bye.